Hi, my name is Ashish, and in this video we will have a look at AWS Elasticache. What is caching? Well, to jump over to AWS Elasticache, I just want to confirm that what exactly caching is in terms of cloud. Well, caching is a technique to store frequently accessed information in a temporary memory location on a server. You can read intensive web applications are the best use case candidates for a cache service. In a web-driven world, catering to users' requests in real time is the goal of every website. Because performance and speed are required, a caching layer like Amazon Elasticache is the first tool that every website employs in serving mostly static and frequently accessed data. Caching is a technique to store frequently accessed information like HTML pages, images, and other static information in a temporary memory location on the server. Read-intensive web applications are the best use candidates for a cache service. There are a number of caching servers used across applications. The most notable are Memcached, Redis, and Varnish. There are types of caching. Memcached. Memcached is an open source distributed in-memory key value store caching service for small arbitrary data, stream flowing from database calls, API calls, or page rendering. Memcached has long been the first choice of caching technology for users and developers around the world. Redis. Redis is a newer technology and often considered as a superset of Memcached. That means Redis offers more and performs better than Memcached. Redis scores over Memcached in a few areas that we will discuss briefly. Redis implements 6 fine-grained policies for purging all data, while Memcached uses the LRU, that is the least recently used algorithm. Redis supports key names and values up to 512 MB, where Memcached supports only 1 MB. Redis uses a hash map to store objects, whereas Memcached uses serialized strings. Redis provides a persistent layer and support complex types like hashes, list, sets, or sorted sets. Redis is used for built-in pub/sub transactions and Lua scripting. Redis 3 supports clustering. Amazon Elasticache. Now we come to the Amazon Elasticache. Amazon Elasticache is a caching as a service from Amazon Web Services. AWS simplifies setting up, managing, and scaling a distributed in-memory cache environment in the cloud. It provides a high-performance, scalable, and cost-effective caching solution. AWS removes the complexity associated with deploying and managing a distributed cache environment. From the Amazon Elasticache documentation, we will learn that Elasticache has features to enhance reliability for critical product deployments, including automatic detection and recovery from cache node failures, automatic failover, flexible availability zone placements of the nodes and clusters, integration with other Amazon Web Services such as Amazon EC2, CloudWatch, CloudTrail, and Amazon SNS to provide a secure, high-performance managed in-memory caching solution. Amazon Elasticache provide two caching engines like we discussed before, which is Memcached and Redis. You can move your existing Memcached or Redis caching implementation to Amazon Elasticache effortlessly. Simply change the Memcached Redis endpoints in the application to point it to AWS Elasticache. Few related terms. Nodes are the smallest building block of Amazon Elasticache service, which are typically network attached RAMs, each having an independent DNS name and port. Elasticache cluster. Clusters are logical collection of nodes. If your Elasticache cluster is of Memcached nodes, you can have nodes in multiple availability zones to implement high availability. In the case of Redis cluster, the cluster is always a single node. You can have multiple replication group across AZs. A Memcached cluster has multiple nodes whose cached data is horizontally partitioned across each node. Each of the nodes in the cluster is capable of read and write. A Redis cluster, on the other hand, has only one node, which is the master node. Redis clusters do not support data partitioning. Rather, there are up to 5 replication nodes and replication groups which are read only. They maintain copies from the master node, which is the only writable node. The data are copied asynchronously to the read replicas, and read requests are spread across read replica clusters. Having multiple read replicas in different AZs enables high availability. Elasticache, Memcached. Until now, we have discussed both the caching engines, but I may seem biased towards Redis. So the question is, if Redis is all powerful, then why doesn't Elasticache provide only Redis? There are a few good reasons for using Memcached. It is the simplest caching model. It is helpful for people needing to run large nodes with multiple cores or threads. It offers the ability to scale out in adding and removing nodes on demand. It handles partitioning data across multiple shards. It handles cache objects such as database. It may be necessary to support an existing Memcached cluster. Each node in a Memcached cluster has its own endpoint. The cluster also has an endpoint called the configuration endpoint. If you enable auto discovery and connect to the configuration endpoint, your application will automatically know each node endpoint even after adding or removing nodes from the cluster. The latest version of Memcached supported in Elasticache is 1.4.24. Elasticache Redis. Redis supports complex data types such as strings, hashes, lists, and sets. Redis sorts or ranks in memory data sets. Redis provides persistence for your key store. Redis replicates the cache data from the primary to one or more read replicas for read-intensive applications. Redis has automatic failover capabilities. Redis has publish and subscribe pub sub capabilities. Redis has backup and restore capabilities. So this was the theory section that I wanted to cover regarding AWS Redis Cache. In the next videos, we will see how to implement them in the AWS console. Thank you for your time today. Have a good day ahead. Bye-bye.